Thank you, Senator Goodwin. Senator LeMieux.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, thank you for your service to this country. Thank you for, again, coming to the plate to serve your country in a very important role. And on behalf of Florida, welcome to, I know upon your confirmation, welcome to Central Command in Florida. We're excited to have you. I just was talking to the Tampa Chamber of Commerce, and they're ready to welcome you to Hillsborough County. And it's important to us in Florida to have the relationship we have with the military, as I think you know, from the world's largest Air Force base to, I guess, 22 or 23 military installations, including 3 commands, one of which you will preside over. The military means a lot to Florida, and Floridians love the military, and I just wanted to say on behalf of my home state, we look forward to having you upon your confirmation. I want to talk about a wide variety of different topics. I want to start first with Afghanistan and follow up with you on a point that General Petraeus and I have talked about before, and that is information operations. This goes back to the point that Senator Brown was making about trying to get the word out to Afghanis that when the Taliban comes in and says we killed all these children or we've done something horrible that we haven't done, that we're getting the word out as quickly and effectively as possible that that's not true, and here's the real truth of the case. When I went to Afghanistan last fall, I met with a Colonel Kraft, who I believe now is back from Afghanistan, but he was working with the Afghan commandos, and he was working with local territorial governors, and they were putting up radio stations, they were passing out leaflets, they were meeting with local commanders and village leaders to make sure that they had a network of people to get the word out so that when the Taliban tried to lie about what we were doing, we could respond quickly and effectively. And I would just want to encourage you that that I.O. effort is extremely important, to stay focused on that, that there was a lot of room for improvement in that. I know General Petraeus was focused on it and had done a great job with it in Iraq, so I wanted to just highlight that issue for you. Also want, and this is outside of your AOR, but I wanted to, because this is the first time I've had a chance to talk to you in this setting, to put this on your radar screen. I've talked to General Frazier about this on several times, and it's in his AOR, but there is a link with yours, and that is the growing threat that I think Venezuela poses to this country. And the reason why I mention it to you is that there is a connection between Venezuela and Iran. There are direct flights between Tehran and Caracas, where we don't know who gets on the flight, we don't know who gets off it. They land at a separate part of the airport in Caracas. We know by public information that there are Iranian shock troops in Venezuela. We know that Hezbollah and Hamas have set up shop in Latin America. And I'm very concerned that Hugo Chavez is going to play by the same playbook as Ahmadinejad. So, again, not in your AOR, but I take the opportunity I can with everyone that I can with to raise this topic, especially because it links up with Iran, which is in your area of responsibility. Let me ask you some questions now. I want to switch gears a little and talk about the Horn of Africa and also about Yemen, because as we've been successful against al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, we know that they have taken up root in Pakistan, and we also know that al-Qaeda is in Yemen as well as in the Horn of Africa. And I wanted to ask you about what your focus will be on those areas, what more we can do, what's the current state of affairs in our efforts in both Yemen and in Somalia and also other parts of the Horn of Africa.
Thank you, Senator LeMieux, and I agree 100% on information operations. It does us no good to win the tactical battle and lose it at the strategic communications level, and we are committed to that lock, stock, and barrel. On Iran, Venezuela, I register your concern, and I have no argument with you. It has my attention. Regarding Yemen, sir, first, we are working a civilian-military Paul Mill plan with Yemen. It's, as you know, a very poor country. It's got severe water problems. It's got an internal rebellion. And, of course, it's got the AQ, the terrorists. They're a threat not just to Yemen, but they're also to next door Saudi Arabia. We are working it, I think, in as cohesive a way, a civilian, a diplomatic military role as we can, considering the capacity of the country to take on support. But I think it's going the right direction right now. It is going to be a problem. We're going to have to address it, and we can do so, I think, in league with some of our friends in the region that can also assist. As far as the Horn of Africa, as you know, it's under AFRICOM, but due to the nature of it, and when you look at al-Qaeda's links or possible links with al-Shabaab, we are going to have to get to a point of collaboration with AFRICOM that the enemy doesn't find a seam between CENTCOM and AFRICOM, and I'm committed to doing that.
Well, thank you, and that's the point that I wanted to raise with you, is that they're so close, they're trafficking between the two places, and we saw, I think there was newspaper reports this weekend about al-Shabaab committing a terrorist attack in Uganda, which is the first time that I think that's been reported. And I look forward to traveling to the region later this year and learning more about what our efforts are. But the use of, our Predator aircraft and other unmanned vehicles and everything that we can do, I think, needs to be done, because what we saw with the Christmas Day bomber that the new terrorists are going to come from regions that are outside of Afghanistan, and we have to be ready for the next war. You know the expression better than I do, that you don't just fight the last war, but we got to be ready for the next war. So I'm glad that you're focused on that as well. Separate, if I can switch gears again, I'm sorry to go all over the place, but I only have so much time to ask you questions. I was looking at your testimony earlier this year, and it was a program you were watching closely called Imminent Fury. The Navy submitted a reprogramming request for the second phase of this program, which was denied for a bunch of different reasons. And you were supportive of the program at the time. I don't know if that's still your opinion. I wanted to check in with you and see if you still think that's a program that is worthwhile pursuing.
Yes, sir, I thought it was at the time, and I still do. It's a test program to see if we can use turboprop planes to replace much more expensive planes, but more importantly, more effectively in the counterinsurgency environment. But there's an awful lot of data we would have to collect. That's why I wanted to do the test, which is what Imminent Fury would have done. But yes, sir, I'm still supportive of it, but I think I need to build some support for it.
Okay. Well, thank you, General. Again, welcome to Florida, and if we can be of any service to you, please let us know. I had a great relationship with General Petraeus and want to have one equally as good with you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator LeMieux.